We now have the answer to the question, what will the Cincinnati Bengals do with Sam Hubbard? And the answer is nothing. Hey guys, it's Josh here from No Buts About It, and I wanted to discuss Sam Hubbard, the Cincinnati Kid who is retiring from the NFL after 7 seasons. And he had a great career as a Bengal. Um, I mean, Sam has just always been a guy that I've really liked. I've had him as wallpapers like on my phone. He's my like workout playlist, like little cover photo on Spotify. He's just an awesome dude and someone I've really enjoyed watching the last few seasons. And I I'm glad that he was able to go out on his own terms. We've been talking about Sam Hubbard a little bit here and there, kind of wondering what was going to happen with him. I mean, he's definitely struggled the past 2 seasons with injuries, and those have slowed him down. And he obviously, I mean, he had that one embarrassing play against Lamar Jackson this past season where a lot of fans just kind of gave up on him. And I don't think that that's a knock on him at all because he admitted to those things as well. Like he said, like, yeah, I've been struggling with injury. I've been dealing with this. It's been slowing me down. So those aren't even necessarily my words. Those are his. But Sam Hubbard also had a great career for the Bengals, and he brought something to the Bengals that they needed at that time when he was drafted in round 3 of the 2018 draft out of Ohio State University. And the career that he put together as a third round pick is just absolutely insane. So let's look at some of his career stats. So Sam Hubbard ended up playing 7 seasons. He started in 88 games. And remember, this is as a third round pick. And sometimes third round picks they go on to be stars, and sometimes they just kind of fizzle out or they end up as backups. I mean, who knows what we're going to get out of this year, the 2024 third round picks with Jermaine Burton and McKinley Jackson. Both of those guys are kind of question marks, but Sam Hubbard very quickly established himself as a starter and as a leader in the locker room. He had 38 and a half sacks in his time with the Bengals. He was 8th all time in the Bengals leaderboard for sacks, which when you think of all the great defensive linemen that the Cincinnati Bengals have had over the years, 8th is very impressive for sure. And again, this is as a guy who wasn't necessarily, expected to be a long-term starter. He had 398 total tackles, and my kind of mind is like, why couldn't you get 2 more? And then he had 6 forced fumbles. That's just his regular season stats as well. That doesn't even include his playoff stats, which of course we all remember Sam Hubbard as a great playoff star. He was huge for the Bengals. He was a huge locker room name. And just someone who I really wanted the Bengals to do right by. The Bengals have been criticized in the past, and sometimes rightfully so, of not doing right by their players. And Sam was a guy that I was hoping they would look at and communicate with and say, I appreciate what you have sacrificed for this team, but we need to go in a different direction if they so chose that. Um, and he's got the nickname the Cincinnati Kid. He grew up in Cincinnati, went to high school in Cincinnati, got obviously went to college at Ohio State, and then gets drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. So he became the Cincinnati Kid. As I said, he was a third round pick in 2018. He was a 4-time team captain. He was the team captain for the last 4 seasons that he played in the NFL. And that just goes to show how much of a leader he was in the locker room, because he was, even last season, not like this, not 2024, but 2023, he kind of took a step back, but the team still looked at him as a leader. They looked at him as someone who could be, relied upon and could teach these younger guys. Obviously, the fumble in the jungle, that call is going to go down in history. Arguably, one of the greatest Bengals playoff moments in franchise history. Fumble in the jungle. I've also heard it called the Hubbard yard dash. I call it the fumble in the jungle because Andrew Gillis came on the show when that happened, and he said that the guys in the locker room are calling it the fumble in the jungle, so that's what I've been calling it. But Hubbard yard dash, when that fumble against the Ravens, ran it back 98 yards for a touchdown in the playoffs. He will always be remembered for that. He was on the team. He was on the Bengals when they broke a 31-year playoff win drought. I mean, he was part of that. He was a part of the teams that went to back-to-back AFC championships and even won one of them. He was, I don't have it on there, but he was part of multiple division winning teams. He was obviously on the team when they went to the Super Bowl against the LA Rams. And then he's a 2-time NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. So Sam Hubbard, just like, he just embraced what it meant to be a Cincinnati Bengal, and he helped the team kind of transition into the 21st century. And yes, there's still work to be done for sure. Everyone who follows the Bengals knows that, but Sam Hubbard was such a huge part of getting there. He was part of the building blocks to build the defense that got the Bengals to those AFC championships. And now he is stepping away. He is stepping aside and recognizing that while he will probably go down as a fan favorite Bengal of all time, I don't know that I can necessarily put him in the Ring of Honor, but definitely will be remembered by the fans in a positive light. He is recognizing that it's his time with injuries, and he is stepping aside and allowing guys like Miles Murphy, the first-round pick from 2023, who's been learning behind him this entire time, to come in and potentially, make their name known in Bengals history, etch that into Bengals history. We get a chance to see what he can do. If the Bengals choose to extend him, Joseph Asai plays linebacker and defensive end. Had some great playing time at the end of last season when Hubbard got hurt catching that touchdown. Had multiple sacks. I think he had 5 sacks in like 8 games or something. But he played phenomenal. And if the Bengals choose to extend him, who knows what he'll look like as a starter. But I think that Sam Hubbard really did a lot for the Bengals. He won't be a Hall of Famer. He's not going to be remembered as like some pass rushing game wrecker, because that was never really his game. But I think he will be recognized as a team leader in this era of the Cincinnati Bengals. And I appreciate his time that he spent as a leader in the locker room, getting these guys going, motivating players when it wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. And he just always remained loyal to the Bengals. You never heard him complaining. And I'm glad that he will be a Bengal for life, because, there were those trade rumors coming out. There were rumors he was just going to get cut, and I was really hoping that didn't happen. I was really hoping that he would, kind of get a chance somewhere else if he so desired, as we now know he wants to retire a Bengal. But it's kind of a best of both worlds situation for me. This is the best route, because I get to say Sam Hubbard was only a Bengal, is only a Bengal, and will forever be a Bengal. But the Bengals can also save the $9.6 million that they needed to in order to get some of these other extensions done. I hope that Sam Hubbard is around the team for a while. I hope he is able to, either come in as like an assistant coach or a player's like help quality guy. I don't know. But Sam Hubbard, he's just such a leader. I'm glad that he was a Cincinnati Bengal, and I'm honored to have been able to watch him as a player. So thank you, Sam Hubbard. Uh, Let me know what your favorite Sam Hubbard moment was down below. Let me know what you thought about Sam Hubbard and his career. I don't quite think he's a Ring of Honor player, but he's definitely forever going to be a player that I remember, and I have a ton of his memorabilia. So that's great. I can remember him that way. But as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Um, we appreciate it. It really helps us out. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.